Hey guys, hello everybody, hello to the audience. It's qualifier time at IPL, and finally, after 56 matches, here we are down to the last four teams. In fact, it's the top two teams who are going to face off against each other in qualifier one. In fact, I was talking to some of my experts today, the entire panel of experts that we've got for you, and it's quite bizarre. If somebody had seen the IPL leaderboard at the midway stage, they would have seen a Mumbai Indians and a Delhi Capitals and a RCB in the top three. And somebody would have gone to sleep and then woken up and seen the leaderboard now. They would have felt, what is the fuss all about? They had no idea the kind of upheaval, the kind of excitement that Rajasthan Royals at times, Kings 11 largely, and even Sunrisers Hyderabad for that matter caused. And thank God, if Sunrisers had not won on that day, it would have been KKR. And then people would have thought, hey, it's the top four teams at the midway stage which went into the final four. But thank God, SRH is looking very, very strong. But today we are not discussing SRH. We are talking about Delhi Capitals taking on the defending champions Mumbai Indians. The first qualifier, the top two teams, the two teams with the strongest bowling attacks in the tournament, the two teams who've got good India batting talent. So it is going to be exciting. Today, I've got a panel of experts with me. The biggest ever panel, in fact, that we've ever had. We've got Kanishk, we've got Kriti, Anuradha, Rohan, Hursh, Kaushik, and Mayuresh. So without wasting any further time of you guys, I will jump straight into the format. The format is very simple. I ask all these experts their opinions on six big predictions going into this match, and I will put them on a spot. They have to respond. Okay. So first question, I will start with you, Kanish. And a very simple enough question, and the response to this question has obviously changed, varied depending on the stage of the tournament. So, what will the team that wins the toss decide to do, bat or bowl?
Very, very interesting. I think I'm thinking that whoever wins the toss would like to chase. Both of them have got good, they're all balanced teams, actually, good bowling, good batting. But I feel that whoever is winning the toss will go to chase.
All right, thank you. Why don't I move to Kriti? And Kriti, please tell us, what do you think?
All right then. Thank you once again. You caught me being distracted. Thank you. I agree with Kanishk because I was looking at the questions. So while you have increased the complexity of the questions for today's program, but I still think that at least for the first question, I think they're going to bowl first and then chase the target.
Okay, thank you so much, Kriti. Short and sweet, wonderful. We've had two very, very short and same answers. Let's see if Rohan has something.
That's very unlike me, no? Short and sweet.
No, not at all. Didn't mean it that way. In fact, so why don't we ask Rohan if he has a different opinion? Rohan.
Yeah, I think I have a different opinion than the above two panelists. I think since it's a pressure match, if we see like what in a pressure match, always the team which wins the toss will obviously bat first because they want to put up a good total, because the big match is always had taken a toll on both the teams participating. So I think and as you said, both of them have good bowling attacks. So both of them will come like at any time with full pace, and then they want to demolish it like anything, the other opponent. So I think the team which will win the toss will decide to bat first.
All right. So this is basically, following the trend of previous IPLs. We've seen teams chase in the league matches, and come the qualifiers or the finals, they want to obviously bat first, put the pressure, put the total on the board. Thank you so much, Rohan.
Yeah.
We move to Kaushik, and Kaushik, please tell us what are your views on this?
See, I was going through the stats here. 24 matches have been played on this ground. 13 matches have been won by the team batting first. and chasing, only 8 matches were won. But also going by this year's IPL, I see that the team batting second or the team chasing is winning most of the games. So I think they will bat first, because Mumbai Indians have a very strong batting lineup. I hope Rohit Sharma comes back with some vengeance today, provided his selection thing that happened. So I think if Mumbai plays, wins the toss, they will bat first.
Okay. Okay. So two bowl first, two bat first. Let's see if Harsh has something else to say. Harsh, what do you think?
No, they should bat first. Both of the teams are, Delhi has been more vulnerable in their batting, so they should bat first at least. But for Mumbai as well, I think I align with what Rohan has said, that the team winning the toss should bat first. Both of them had a very good bowling lineups. They both are capable to defend the targets. We have seen that. So bat first should be the case here.
Bat first is the mantra according to Harsh. Anuradha, what is your take? What do you think should the teams do?
मेरे कहने से थोड़ी वो कुछ करते हैं. But anyway, in the last 6 matches, I'm also going by data. In the last 6 matches, I think 3-1 by defending and 3-1 by chasing. So yeah, I have no idea. But I think the wicket is going to be slow initially, and later the dew is going to help. So going by that, I'll go for chasing.
Fair point. I think Dew has made an impact in the second innings of matches. So yeah, I think great point, Anuradha. Why don't we move to Mayuresh, the one who's been topping our Play CKC charts? Mayuresh, what do you think?
I think the team winning the toss will bowl first. I don't think so, because both the teams are comfortably chasing, and I think the dew is going to play a major factor. So if it's a dew, then definitely the team chasing will win, because it takes bowler out of the contention. Maybe it may be Rabada, it may be anybody, but dew impacts it. So I'll go with bowling.
Okay, so pretty much a split verdict. I think we've got some interesting takes here. I'll start the second question with you, Mayuresh. I will go in the reverse order this time. And the second question is, how many runs will be scored in the last 5 overs of the first innings? You've got 3 options: up to 50, 50 to 60, or 60 plus.
I'll go with 50 to 60. Because the team batting first may face some challenges initially in the phase, because the ball will be not coming onto the bat. It may swing early on, and they may lose wickets. And Delhi has a tendency to lose early wickets. Even Mumbai has the same problem when they are batting first. I'll go with a safe score, and I'll say it's a qualifier one, important match. So I'll go with the 50 to 60.
Thank you, Mayuresh. Anuradha, what do you think?
I'll go with less than 50.
Sorry, you're going with less than 50 for the last 5 overs?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Anuradha. Harsh, what are you going with?
Less than 50, because both of their death bowling is very very good. We see Rabada and Nautye in Delhi, and Bumrah in Mumbai. So less than 50 would be my take.
Wow. And who would have thought this? Huh? I mean, we're talking about last 5 overs, 30 balls. If teams don't score at more than 10, 11 runs, that's would be disappointing for the respective teams. But I hear you. The death bowling has been great, and we will talk a little bit about the death bowling. But why don't I, go to Kaushik and ask him what does he think?
So I was looking at the team here. If you look at number 5, 6, 7, Mumbai has Hardik Pandya, Kiran Pollard, Krunal Pandya. Delhi has Rishabh Pant, Marcus Stoinis, and Daniel Sams most probably. And this is going to be very interesting. Some of the best batters against some of the best bowlers of the tournament. They will be playing against Trent Bolt will be bowling Jasprit Bumrah and Arnik Nardze and Kagiso Rabada. They are all very strong. So I have a feeling that Mumbai, as far as batting is concerned, will have a stronger batting than Delhi in the last 10. So if Mumbai bats first, I will go with 60, 50 to 60, and if Delhi bats first, I'll go with up to 50.
Okay, thank you so much, Kaushik. We need to talk about matchups. You talked about the last three. It's a very important point that you brought about, and there it then becomes a question of matchups. But we'll talk about it. Let's go down to Rohan. And Rohan, what do you think about this?
I think 50 to 60 would be a safe bet in this scenario, because the thing is, as Kaushik pointed out, the three batsmen for each, and DC batting has not been tested much. But MI batting has been really pretty strong. So if MI bats first, then I think 50 to 60 would be a safe bet for if they go down the order in these three things, because Kieran Pollard has shown a pretty good performance in the past few matches, and taking that into consideration, I think they ought to be scoring at least 50 to 60 in the last 5 overs.
Okay, all right. Interestingly, none of you have gone for 60 plus. And if you are Kiran Pollard or Hardik Pandya listening to this, you will say, "Hey, we scored 70 or 80 runs in the last 4 overs." So I don't know, but Kriti, what are you going with? Are you going with these guys, or you think it's going to be different?
I think it's going to be under 50. And don't ask me why, because as I have said several times, others might be the experts. I am the senti one. मैं यहाँ पे भावनाओं के साथ खेल रही हूँ.
All right. Okay. So less than 50, huh? Okay. Okay. On to the final expert.
Swapnil, sorry, 1 second. You mentioned Pollard and Pandya. You're forgetting the DC bowling lineup.
I'm not forgetting. I know. I talked about.
Hence, we are so conservative today.
Of course, I get that. We talked about matchups. Kaushik did mention the matchups, and that's what we said. But let's hear Kanishk, and let's see what he has to say.
I'll go with under 50 as well. I think more than the batting, I'm really looking forward to some cracking bowling in the death by medium paces from both sides. Such an evenly matched team, literally, and therefore the top four medium paces, two medium paces in each team. I think I would love to see how they approach in the last 4-5 overs, both sides. Hoping that second inning holds up till the 16th.
Sure. I think all of you mentioned the bowling, and it's quite interesting to see this conservative figure, because believe me, whenever I've raised this question in the previous matches, the answer has been either 50 to 60 or 60 plus. So very interesting. A lot of you have gone for less than 50. Some of you have gone for 50 to 60. None of you have gone for 60 plus. It is very interesting. Anuradha pointed it out. Kaushik pointed it out. Kanishk pointed. I think all of you have pointed it out in some way or the other. It's the bowling. Yeah. I think when I mentioned about Hardik Pandya, Kiran Pollard, and Krunal Pandya also, we clearly know that they will be up against Nortje and Rabada, and the lengths and the pace that Krunal Pandya, Hardik Pandya, and Kiran Pollard don't like are these 3/4 lengths at high speeds, and that is what these two bowlers can bowl very, very well. And then on the other hand, you have Bumrah, so it's not going to be easy. He's got an excellent head-to-head against Rishabh Pant, for that matter. So it's going to be extremely interesting. Maybe it's the bowlers who are going to dominate the death. Let's go to the third question, and I'll start with you, Kriti, this time. So let's talk about out-of-form batters. Okay, we've talked about in-form batters throughout the tournament. Let's talk about out-of-form batters. And so who amongst these out-of-form batters will score a half century today? And you will see that the three options that I have for you are all Mumbai batters. They play for Mumbai in the Ranji Trophy. So you've got Rohit Sharma plays for Mumbai Indians, Prithvi Shaw, obviously Delhi Capitals, and Shreyas Iyer, Delhi Capitals captain. Or you think none of them are going to come back into form in this high pressure match?
While on one hand, they have been out of form, but at the same time, they have to come back in the form. Otherwise, basically, कोई फायदा ही नहीं है. मतलब फिर गए क्यों थे? So, considering that I have my loyalties towards Delhi Capitals, I am hoping to see Shreyas Iyer come back into form and really, surprise everyone for a change.
Okay, he would certainly want that too. He's been a little out of form, especially when it comes to chasing. When it comes to setting the total, he's been in good form. But in the last 4-5 matches, he's anyways been out of touch. Let's ask Hursh what he thinks.
I'll also go with the Shreyas Iyer. I don't believe Rohit Sharma has came back from an injury. Prithvi Shaw, throughout the tournament, he has not been form at all. So maybe law of averages may come into picture on a positive side. But Shreyas Iyer is the one that I'm looking forward to.
Very interesting. Let's go down to Rohan, the person from Hyderabad, and see what he has to say.
I think I also go with Shreyas Iyer क्योंकि उसमें थोड़ा सा दिल्ली वाला swag है और थोड़ा सा मतलब he's having a cool head. I think all the matches I've seen, he has been a cool customer. And I think by the if you see the past matches, he has performed in some matches, not all, but the past history is with Shreyas Iyer, so I think I'll go with Shreyas Iyer.
Indeed. I think it's a good choice. Shreyas Iyer would want to obviously prove a point to a lot of critics, especially now that he's also been chosen in the Indian team. He's part of the Indian team, that is. Let's ask Kanishk. Kanishk, what do you think?
I think there's a lot of agreement today on various issues and various topics, and I agree to what everybody has said. That I do feel that Shreyas Iyer would like to prove a point. He's a tough nut, I think, and I've been a fan of his last 1.5, 2 years. Just his attitude is so positive all the time. So I do hope that this is the game where he takes it on himself and makes that difference being the captain for DC. I am not too confident about Prithvi Shaw. But let's see. But if I have to bank on someone, it's going to be Shreyas Iyer.
Okay.
An interesting point about all Mumbai Ranji batsmen, right? And that shows all three of them are part of the Indian dressing room as well. But the other aspect that I don't know after how many generations have we seen that there's no Mumbai bowler in the Indian side. And that probably explains the reason why Mumbai has been performing so
poorly in the Ranji Trophy.
It's really astonishing that the batting lineup is so great, but the bowling is totally on a different level.
So in fact, we are seeing this. Interesting that you raised this. So we are indeed seeing this, that in the Indian team, the batters are still coming from the three major cities that have always provided batters, which is Delhi, Bombay, and Bangalore. And even in the Indian team, you've got a Virat Kohli and a Rishabh Pant from Delhi and a Shikhar Dhawan from Delhi. You've got all these Mumbai players. You've got KL Rahul and Mayank Agarwal from Bangalore. But the bowlers, interestingly, are still coming from the smaller towns. You've got a Jasprit Bumrah and a Bhuvneshwar Kumar and a Umesh Yadav, and only Ishant Sharma is from Delhi if you see that way. But very interesting point, Kanishk. Thank you. Let's move to Anuradha. Anuradha, what's your take on this one?
This one, I don't know. This is just gut, right? And from gut, I can see headlines tomorrow. Rohit Sharma makes a comeback. Rohit Sharma proves a point. And let me also say that I'm a huge fan of Shreyash Iyer's. He's such a young captain and a cool, collected captain. I like him. I would want to see him play well. But that emotion aside, just gut tomorrow's headline. Rohit Sharma.
Okay, so this will be a slap on a lot of people associated with BCCI, not the least the BCCI president. Anyway, moving on to Kaushik. Kaushik, what do you think?
Yeah, I really hope this happens. Tomorrow's headline has to have Rohit Sharma's name at the top. I'm not a big T20 fan. In fact, when it came the first IPL season, I hated it completely. But one of the main reasons why I watch this IPL series is because how players who are Indians but does not belong to the Indian team, does not play for the Indian team, they get to showcase their skills in the IPL. That's a very good thing that I find in IPL. And going by that, I would like all three of them to do well. Prithvi Shaw is a very bright talent. I see a little bit of Tendulkar and Lara in him. Shreyas Iyer has shown a lot of maturity and handling such a big name. The Delhi Capitals team is not easy. So he has been doing pretty well, but again, Rohit Sharma has to deliver today. He has to take the game by storm today.
Okay, so two Rohit Sharmas. The rest of them are rooting for Shreyas Iyer. Let's see what Mayuresh has to say. Mayuresh, are you going for with Prithvi Shaw or agree with one of these experts?
I'm going to echo what Anuradha said. I want Rohit Sharma to perform. Whatever hell happens, Mumbai loses, wins, I don't care. But I want Rohit to go and get a 50 and show it to everyone that he is fit and he is running. That's what I want.
So that is a very very typical Sportsenti answer, if I may add. I mean that is speaking from the heart, really, not mincing words.
Yes.
Who wants, even at the cost of whether Mumbai wins or not. It's obviously we've seen that if Rohit Sharma plays well, if he scores a 60, 70, invariably Mumbai is in a very very strong position.
Yeah, in the long term, it is definitely beneficial if Rohit Sharma performs because as an opener, I think the next series is in Australia, so I think the if he performs well, I think that will be a big benefit.
Only
Also,
if he
adding
gets chosen.
yeah,
That only if he gets picked.
yeah,
But anyway, all right.
yeah.
Agreed. Totally agree with you guys. Okay, Kaushik, I will start the fourth question with you. We've spoken about the batters. Let's talk about the spin bowlers, and we're talking about spin duos from both the sides. We've seen the role of spinners this IPL has been less of wicket taking, much more of keeping the runs down. Of course, we are not talking about Chahal. Yuzvendra Chahal aside, I think we've seen generally spinners coming in the middle overs, tying the batters down, creating pressure. And if you look at the economy rates, I think a lot of spinners have done well. So we've got two spinner duos for the respective side. You've got Akshar Patel and Ashwin for Delhi Capitals. You've got Rahul Chahar and Krunal Pandya for Mumbai Indians. Now, which spin bowling duo will be the most economical today? A minimum of four overs combined. That's the criteria. What do you think, Kaushik?
I like Krunal Pandya a lot. He's kind of a bowler who bowls similarly like Ravindra Jadeja, quick pace. But on basis of sheer experience, Akshar has been playing in domestic for a long time. Ashwin, of course, we all know. So I will go with Ashwin and Akshar Patel just because of the experience factor. But again, they will be, these two will be bowling against some massive hitters. So it's very difficult to pick, but I will go with Ashwin and Akshar Patel just because of their experience.
Understood. Okay, thank you. Rohan, we come to you. What do you think?
I think going by the past, I think Krunal Pandya and Rahul Chahar has proved their mettle in the IPL. Even if Rahul Chahar has not much of an experience from playing on the like domestic front or international front, but he has shown is that yes, he can at times he can be handy at from his bowlings. And yeah, Krunal Pandya has also shown that that he can also prove his worth. And I agree with Kaushik that yes, he's like Ravindra Jadeja, bowls at quick pace, and to pick him in situations like this can be really like expensive for the batsman facing them. Yeah, so I think Rahul Chahar and Krunal Pandya will be the obvious choice.
Okay, thank you. We move to Anuradha. Anuradha, what's your take on this one?
DC. I'm going with the DC bowlers.
Okay, going with the experienced duo of Akshar Patel and Ashwin. Let's see if Mayuresh agrees. Mayuresh, what's your take on this question?
I'll also go with Ashwin and Patel. And another point which I'm considering, who is going to bowl first. In case Mumbai bat first and Chahar and Kunal has to bowl in the second innings with a due factor, I think they are I think they won't be that effective. Ashwin and Akshar still has shown that they can still bowl with the weight ball. So I'll go with the safer option of Ashwin and Akshar. So.
Okay, Kanishk, you agree with these guys, with these experts?
Yeah, totally. I do feel that Ashwin and Akshar would be a better pair. Having said that, I'm not sure how. Last match, I think we saw Ashwin getting out of the field again with a hamstring. And there have been quite a few of those this season for Indian players. So, yeah, if he's fit, bowling is full quota, then definitely, but it has to be at his, best in terms of fitness.
Yeah, I think fair point. In fact, that is one of the concerns for Delhi going into this match, Ashwin's fitness, and they would want him to, yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying, and he, I mean, Akshar is straight as an arrow, right? Like it just wicket to wicket, very consistent, but Ashwin has got so much variation. His action changes. I think the last game I saw like 3 different balls with 3 different actions in the same over, right? And as a batsman, it just very difficult, I believe, and that's why I feel that as a combination, they're just too good.
In fact, Ashwin also bowled a leg spinner, a leg break in the last match. And he bowled a leg break. And if you recall, I think after being dropped in the 2017 Champions Trophy, after that, he started bowling leg spin in the domestic season. And
exactly. He also bowled a special one like Kedar Jadhav, which was
the round arm, which Krunal Pandya does as well. So very interesting. I think Ashwin is so underrated as a spin bowler. I mean, let me not say underrated for a spinner who's picked up so many test match wickets, but people forget that he started his career in T20, and he was the original carom ball bowler immediately after Ajanta Mendes, and this was before Sunil Narayan, right? So he was Chennai's trump card back then. Excellent T20 bowler. Even now, I think he can keep the runs down, picks up important wickets, and that is what I think Delhi Capitals would surely be hoping, that Ashwin is fit, because Mumbai has 4 left-handers in their top 7, and that is a big consideration, especially the opening with the 2 left-handers. I'm sure if Ashwin is fit, Shreyas Iyer will bring on Ashwin in the power play. I'm pretty sure about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Kanishk. Kriti, we come to you. What is your take on this particular one?
See, I have, like I said, my allegiances are with DC in this match, and also Akshar is a good bowler. So Ashwin's injury aside, I am still hoping that this duo will perform today. And yeah, so Akshar and Ashwin.
Thank you. Thanks, Kriti. We move to Hursh, the last expert on this panel on this particular question. Hursh, what do you think?
I'll also go with Ashwin and Akshar. Seeing that finger spinners are more in a better control in the due conditions than the wrist spinner, And seeing how Krunal Pandya bowled in the last match against SRH, I think he was below his capability. So maybe because it was the last match for Mumbai Indians, it was least important, but it was not at a good level. So
Well, he
but
surely
in
was
any case, the experience.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the experience. Obviously, Ashwin has a tons of experience. Akshar is as KK said, he's a wicket-to-wicket bowler. He will not give you freebies as compared to Chahar and Krunal Pandya. So I'll go with both of them. DC.
Thank you. In fact, when you're talking about Krunal Pandya, what I wanted to say is that he was competing with the Pacers in the last match. He bowled a bouncer, which went for 5 wide. So, so that shocked Quinton de Kock as much as the batsman. That is fair to say. But it was very interesting. Anyway, thank you, people. Yeah.
Swapnil, if you're the keeper and you're keeping to a spinner right on the stump and you get a bounce
down the leg side,
surprise the batsman because he'll be caring for your head.
And on the other hand, I will not want a player like Quinton de Kock to get injured because of that bouncer. So that was not a sensible bowling, option to bowl a bouncer.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Harsh. Let me start the fourth question with you, Harsh. And this is about matchups. This is a very different kind of question we ask. So, we're talking about a batter and a bowler, their matchups. And so which matchup is likely to come off today? We're talking about 2 specific matchups today based on the past record. You've got Bumrah versus Pant, and you've got Ashwin versus de Kock, right? And so who's likely to come up on top? Now, if the batter has to win, they have to face minimum 5 deliveries and score at a strike rate of 160 without getting out. If the bowler is winning, then the criteria is economy rate of less than 7, or they go on to take the wicket of that particular batsman. So what do you think between Pant, Bumrah, and Ashwin de Kock, who's the one likely to come out on top?
I will not give any benefit to Pant when it comes to Bumrah, and and also because of Pant's fitness. So that way, Bumrah is a clear winner, 100%, no doubt in my mind. Between Ashwin and de Kock, it will be a very interesting battle. But I think looking at the experience, looking at how Ashwin has been bowling, he has been part of Chennai Super Kings when Chennai Super Kings was down and out, and then they came back to win IPL trophies. And Ashwin played a major role opening the bowling, and during the Indian conditions when there was a dew. So irrespective of whether it is a dew or not, Ashwin also has 60-40 benefit with de Kock.
No, so my question is very simple.
Both the scenarios.
So there are 4 scenarios. I just want you to pick one. And if I believe you're picking a Bumrah over Pant, right? If there are 4 scenarios.
Yes.
Pant, yeah. All right. Okay. So it's not de Kock over Ashwin. It is basically a Bumrah over Pant, more likely, right? That's what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Harsh. Anuradha, we come to you, and let's ask you what's your view on this?
Ditto. I'm going with what Harsh said. Bumrah over Pant. I also thought I had to pick 2, so I would have picked both the Mumbai people. Okay, but then if I have to pick one, it's Bumrah over Pant.
Okay. Why do I get this sneaking suspicion that this question is going to get
wasted?
This is going to get wasted, and I may have to come back to you guys and say, hey guys, it was okay if you were picking 2. No worries.
No, the thing is, I think everybody has trust in Bumrah. I'm speaking too soon, I know, but I think you might realize that in a few seconds. But everybody trusts Bumrah like anything. So if you're asking us to pick one, more likely people are going with that combination.
Okay. Let's ask Kaushik if he agrees with you. Kaushik.
Absolutely. You see, the moment I read this question, Bumrah versus Pant, it reminded me of 2018 IPL, wherein he took Bumrah to the cleaners. And I would like to see that rivalry again. but there is the difference is Bumrah is now 2-3 years more experienced and obviously the best in the world. So this time Bumrah will get back to Pant for sure.
Okay. Okay. Let me then, interject and say one thing, guys. I mean, Bumrah versus Pant may not impact the match so much as Quinton de Kock versus Ashwin. But having said that, this is just to make my question more interesting, and so that my question doesn't get wasted. Let's ask Rohan what he thinks. Rohan.
I completely agree with all the experts that no doubt Bumrah will any day demolish Pant, because the thing is like I think the amount of pace he generates, the Pant is not capable of handling that pace. And yeah, I think all the points have been made, so I have no new points other than this. So I think, yeah, I agree with all the experts.
You know what? So Kaushik made that point that Bumrah was taken to the cleaners. Bumrah was taken to the cleaners when in 2018 IPL, and I think that was the first match, if I'm not mistaken. But that was a punt of a very old. I mean, that was the aggressive punt that we all like to see, and what has been missing this season. Bumrah was still a special bowler in 2018. He's gained 2 more years of experience, especially in red ball cricket. So he's become that much more, adept at handling different situations. But Pant is not the same batsman. But let's ask Kanishk what he thinks about the matchups.
I think this was the easiest question you put, Swapnil, for today. There is nothing to think or, in this. I mean, you rightly said that 2018 Pant, that rawness, and we're still talking about it, and for his batting to mature, right? While on the other hand, you look at I mean, Bumrah started his IPL career before 2018, so and with all the red ball experience and everything, he's so much more deadlier. So it is no match under current circumstances. There is no two ways about it. So yeah, my pick would be Bumrah probably against many other batsmen, not just Pant. Let's I don't want to talk a lot about an out of form batsman, but Bumrah against many other batsmen, I would probably pick Bumrah in their best of form.
Yeah, that is a sign of a great player, actually. So in 2018, he was a different bowler. He learned from the mistakes he committed, and then I think he come back strongly to become the number one T20 bowler after that.
Absolutely.
So I think, yeah,
absolutely. I think he's added so many more dimensions. I think one dismissal, and because KK raised it, even batters in form. I remember the KXIP versus Mumbai Indians match, and Rahul was going so good, and he was bowled by an amazing Yorker. I mean, at that, a well-set batsman who's not looking to make room by going away from the stumps, bowling a batsman of that class and in that form with a Yorker was delivered at some 149 clicks, was incredible bowling. I recall that.
After Malinga, the toe-crushing Yorkers specialist is Bumrah. No
All
doubt.
right. Okay.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong. We haven't seen a lot of Yorkers from Bumrah this season. The kind of I mean, the number of Yorkers that he used to bowl earlier, right? We haven't seen this season, probably because he doesn't need to. Yorkers also put tremendous amount, take a lot of effort from a medium pacer.
He
doesn't need to. Because
he has added several like other arrows in his quiver. Yeah, so he doesn't need Yorkers for that. Yeah.
No, I think also, as you guys rightly say, I think there is this thing about predictability. I mean, you become predictable as a bowler who can only resorts to Yorkers and slower ones at the death. Then it may become easier to hit. So you add more things. You bowl a bouncer, you bowl a back of length delivery. Anyway, let's move to Kriti and find out from her what she thinks about this particular question.
I am feeling really bad for you now because as you predicted right in the beginning, so you have the opportunity to give me a choice of picking two.
Well, I have a way around it. We'll come to that. I have a way around it.
Okay. So while you while you are holding on to that way around, I am going to also go with everyone else and pick Bumrah over Pant. And if you were to give me another choice, I would have picked Ashwin over De Kock. But
Okay, okay, all right. I have a way around it, and I will come to that way. But let me first ask Mayuresh. Uh, you know, Mayuresh, what's your take on this particular one?
Okay, I think before I answer this question, I think when we talked about Pant Bumrah match, it was in 2019, Wankhede, and it was Mumbai Indians' first match. And I think Mumbai's records in the first match of IPL, they are the worst possible team because they lose invariably the first match. So I think I'll not go to Bumrah Pant, and I think I'm more interested in Ashwin De Kock. And I think today, I think De Kock will come on the top, and I'm going to go with that option.
I'll tell you what. So thank you first of all for correcting all of us. The first match I remember, I just may have obviously got the year wrong, but today Mayuresh seems to be in this rebellious mood. He's going to go against the grain. So I mean, but anyway, it is what it is. Mayuresh has already given his response on De Kock versus Ashwin. But what about others? I just need a show of hands. I'll just go to this normal gallery view. I just need a show of hands. How many of you think that it's going to be Ashwin triumphing over De Kock in today's matchup? Just show of hands, people. Okay, all right. So we've got 4 hands. Okay, all right. Okay, very interesting, people. Thank you. Let me.
Swapnil,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt you. Just wanted to put one fact through that. If I remember it correctly, '99 World Cup, South Africa was going so well. All of a sudden, Shane Warne came in and turned the match upside down. So after that match, I will never pick any South African batsman against any spinner. So, so I will never pick Quinton de Kock. That's one point. Again, the second point is that a left-hander versus an off-spinner. It has always been a classical duo. So I will always pick Ashwin if I have to pick between De Kock and Ashwin.
Understood. Fair point. Mayuresh, we're starting the last question, our standard question with you. So big match, the winner goes through to the finals. Of course, the loser gets another crack at it. But who's your pick for today, Delhi Capitals or Mumbai Indians?
I'll go with my favorite, Mumbai. No stress.
Okay. All right. Let me ask Rohan. Rohan, what's your pick? Who's your pick? Given that you are the neutral one in this one, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm the neutral one. So I think Mumbai. I need Mumbai to win because their track record. First of all, the track record should not go back. So they should reach the finals. I think Mumbai should. Yeah.
Hey, but remind me, I mentioned that you are the independent, the neutral one,
Yeah,
but aren't you from Delhi? I mean, aren't you from Delhi? You're
yeah,
just
I'm
living in
from Delhi,
Hyderabad.
but I am a hardcore fan of CSK. So keeping the things into consideration, like I want Mumbai to win. Yeah.
So I was about to ask you about the yellow jersey. Now I know why. Okay, let's ask Kaushik. Kaushik, what's your pick? Who's your pick for today?
Well, being a Delhiite, my heart will always be there with Delhi, but I think Mumbai is a better team, and on papers and by performance, they will win. And if you ask me, just because the name is Sportsenti, I'll keep that sentimental side as well. So I will back a little bit of Delhi batters as well. Shikhar Dhawan, uh, the Prithvi Shaw, Shikhar Dhawan, and Shreyas Iyer. I would like them to do well as well.
Okay, thanks so much, Kaushik. Let's move to Kriti, who's supposed to be another neutral one in this one. Kriti, who's your pick between Delhi Capitals and Mumbai Indians? Not strictly neutral, though. Kriti?
not neutral, not neutral, not neutral, not neutral. If I had pom poms, I would have gone like Delhi, Delhi.
Okay.
Oh, I can do that. Delhi, Delhi.
Okay, thanks so much, Kriti. We obviously will put you on a spot for tomorrow's match as well, because you're from Bangalore. Let's ask Anuradha. Anuradha, what's your pick? Who are you picking today?
Today I am going with DC because I want Shreyas Iyer's team to win. I want a good upset in the tournament. Having said that, I still want Rohit Sharma to perform.
Okay, that's quite the paradox. Normally, Rohit Sharma performing leads Mumbai to a win.
But that's hence the headline. The headline will be so cool, Rohit Sharma performed and yet.
So that will be the key takeaway. Let's jump over. Ask Kanishk, about this particular. Which team is he picking today?
I'm not picking any team for professional reasons, but may the best one win, and I really feel that we'll see them again in the final. Both
okay. So it doesn't matter. So according to you, it doesn't matter who wins today. The other one is going to go through with the in the other qualifier. Okay, let's ask the Mumbai-based Hursh at the end what he thinks. So which team is he picking today?
See, I'm from Mumbai, but I like and I idealize many other Indian players. It's not just Shreyas Iyer. I'm a very big fan of Rahane. Once Rahane, came back to Delhi, I was so keen for Delhi winning. So I started supporting Delhi, whether they are playing against Mumbai or not. So based on on the sentiments, the players I like, I'll go with Delhi. Okay. Purely because you have Shikhar Dhawan, you have Rahane, you have Shreyas Iyer, again everyone's favorite here.
No, Harsh, you can say that because the core of Delhi is actually Mumbai. So.
Can say that, but yeah, I mean, if Rahane would have been belonging to some other city, I would have loved him anyways.
Okay, all right. In fact, when I was asking you guys that question, when I was drafting it out of form batters, you had 3 Mumbai batters. I was tempted to include Ajinkya Rahane as well, but then and Ajinkya Rahane also plays for Mumbai. But then Ajinkya Rahane found form in the last match, so I couldn't. But he's also from Mumbai, who was out of form. But anyway, thank you so much, people. It was wonderful. I've got you guys on this gallery view. All of us can be seen at the same time. So let's just wave to the audience and say bye-bye. Thank you so much, everybody. It was wonderful having you all. And people watching this, keep playing sports, play CKC. It is better than fantasy. Bye-bye. See you.